This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
So I thought what I would do for this episode of Random-ish is give you chapter 4 of my latest book, Twerk the Energy from Hoping to Knowing. I really do feel like in chapter 4 kind of explains everything, even give you some exercises and examples of twerking the energy. I got to tell you, I am really loving how a lot of the teachers and leaders, their messages has started to shift just a little bit from bringing yourself things into making it a way of life so that the things you want can come easier to you. So, without further ado, because you guys are awesome and you listen to the podcast, and also I just want to say thank you. Spent about 2 weeks now learning about frequencies, so hopefully you will notice the difference. I think you will in the audio. And again, appreciate you so much for sticking with the chick and showing me some love. So I'm showing you some love because I think I might be turning this into a master class. Still figuring all of that out. So because you are faithful, wonderful listeners, here is some wonderful gems for you on how you can as well create the life that you want, because that's what life is all about. After all, you know the AI is coming. You know the robots are coming. You know they're trying to get rid of labor. So it's time to start using our minds to create our future. Here you go. Chapter 4. It's a way of life. Learning to leverage real power. Real power is not brute strength. When you look into the eyes of a truly powerful soul, be it man, woman, child, or beast, you can feel the majesty. Sanja. When the movie The Secret was released on DVD in 2008, I thought we were really about to learn these magic secrets that I was unaware of that would cause everything we wanted to just drop out the sky. Well, maybe not drop out of the sky, but you know what I mean. I had already been twerking my way to understand and applying the working of the energies, and I'm always down to learn and expect to attract teachers and situations that will enhance what I know or teach me something new. For me, The Secret DVD was confirmation that I wasn't tripping out, wasn't crazy, or thinking too much. I had tapped into hidden in plain sight ancient knowledge. 3 simple steps, they say, that I took to have the life I was dreaming of. I was on the radio, number 1 in my day part. I interviewed very well-known artists. And I had a great relationship with my kid, good friends, and some cool rendezvous with dope timing. I was getting downloads of information already, so this was my cue to turn up the heat. So I started having fun making vision boards by cutting out things I liked, scripting, doing what I saw in the movie. I thought the steps outlined was deliberate creation. Ask, believe, receive. However, I kept on doing what I did before, like studying documentaries, soaking up knowledge, looking up information about the body, the stars, ancient wisdom, sacred geometry, water, etc., etc. At first, it seems like you're just soaking up knowledge that you will not really be able to use to create something real or tangible. It just seems like getting knowledge on the importance of trying to feel good. That's nothing new. And while it's nice and all, it just seems like really cool information. I wanted practical application. How do I piece all of this information together and use it? Today in 2020, people are aware of this energy connection. I mean, it is now in the advertising, and every coach, business or fitness, and certainly spiritual, is talking about mindset, mindfulness, living in the moment, and people are getting some results. For those who are a little more outside the box in the metaphysical world, taking creation a step further, it's about the ability to line up with coincidences to get parking spots, to see the clock at 11:11, 3:33, or 4:44. These are all examples of synchronicity and energy alignment. Some even call this communication with angels. This is nice, and it gives you a little rush in your solar plexus, but how is that important enough that we should continue pursuing the path of finding the real us? It's not. It's the contrast that does that. I have a belief that most of us start out on this journey of finding ourselves because of something that has happened that causes us to go within. The pain causes some of us to search for relief that cannot come from outside sources. I can now say that there is a blessing of having to go within the mind capabilities at an early age. This would be the only lesson I somewhat agree pain is here to teach. However, it's most parents' wishes to have happy, healthy children who look up to us for guidance and support instead of having to find it within themselves. The way that I've come to pick up on some of the truths that are staring us right in the face, but we don't always see, is because of the not perfect life I started out with. It turns out, not having perfect parents are perfect parents. When a child has someone outside of themselves always telling them what to do, correcting wrongs, or providing every whimsical desire, it causes underdevelopment of self-soothing. Now, I'm not saying don't be there for your kids or for others. Find the balance of letting them discover their own power, and you display true power by showing them how it's done. We begin to create our speaking in tongues language when we are children. If your parents robbed you of the joy of self-soothing, then more than likely you as an adult seek out things to soothe you. It's all good. There's no right way to be raised. We must have diversity in our thinking and processing. There is no manual and no judgment. I'm merely pointing out that for manifesting your life, non-perfect parents are a silver lining. For those who wish to create through discipline or motivational tactics, then non-perfect parents are motivation for you to do better. Sometimes. Parents are human and without an instruction manual. Most of us do the best that we can until the age comes where our children's thoughts and desires outweigh our thoughts and desires for them. We're not responsible for our kids' actions as adults. Recall, even as kids, once we hit a certain age, we might listen to our parents, but really, we just got better at doing stuff that we wanted to, so they didn't find out. Real life plot twist here. Sometimes trying so hard to give more than what you felt you got growing up, more love, more freedom, more things, backfires. I wish I knew this before. Trying to make up for a missing parent, not enough money, horrible family history, etc., all that is a lax stance and will continue to cause the unwanted, the very thing you're trying to avoid, just may manifest. Because your focus is on avoiding a thing, which means that you're in fact focused on the thing. By now, I hope you realize that we get what we focus on and vibrate, not what we wish. Manifesting versus motivation to create desires through willpower is a mouthful. I used to think these two were one and the same. I'd mix the two some days, meditating and journaling and daydreaming, basking in appreciation, focusing on what I want. Some days I'd write lists of goals and things I'd like to accomplish. Some teachers will go so far as to tell you to write your desires down and give it a date that it must come to pass. Or maybe you've heard script it, write it down, and that way you see it in your mind. Every day, 2 times a day, take out that list and look at what you want. See yourself living that lifestyle. Make a list of your daily goals and do them. Every day, do something towards working on those goals. No excuses. Did you hear the drill sergeant in me come out? I am not saying that those tactics won't work. No, they might. But it still depends on your beliefs. You hand out your business cards every day. You make the cold calls. You tell your friends and your family about the new project that you're working on. Everywhere you go, people already know who you are and what you do for a living. Some people are having success with these marketing strategies because they believe it. Some people try business after business using those same marketing strategies and promotion techniques and never see the needle move. I've been there. That is motivation. It's the fear that is driving you. Fear of not making it work. Fear of not being able to pay the bills. Fear of whatever. In our world, in this current, this is how we get shit done motivational way, they have a saying, courage is to be afraid and to do something anyway that scares you. That is courage. Face your fears. If jumping off a 20-story building scares you, then suit up, get an instructor, go to the top of that building and face your fears. Jump off and feel the pride of having courage to do something that scared the shit out of you. Have the ability to tell others, I did it afraid, you can too. There are so many dope motivational teachers out there that will move you into action and get you some results. Heck, people get some phenomenal results and then go to start their own you can do it too business. While there is nothing wrong with motivational teachings or way of life, for me, that's just not the mode of which I want to get shit done. Whether it's my ancestors who were whispering to me as a child that there's something special about me, or the music, movies, and plays that I was drawn to that inspired me, or if it's a program inside my brain and soul that has a specific start date, whatever the cause, I have not been interested in living life and doing things the way I see everyone else doing them. Working super hard and following these unspoken, this is how well-behaved, intelligent people act rules. I want to enjoy my life. We're supposed to enjoy our lives, using the energy in us, not spending our lives doing tasks, worried and stressed. To truly manifest beauty, it is to accept first that you, me, we, us, are one. We are all in this field of potentiality. All of us, together. This is common sense, but folks really think that we're competing to win instead of competition to make better. We are living out our individual thought lives in this field together. While we have different functions and objectives to our day, we share some of the same basic needs and desires with all species. Survival equals food, shelter, health. Thriving includes sex, community, and fun. For us humans, passion, abundance, creative expression, and so much more are all necessary to live a full life. To live life, it's not about how much money you have, but it helps. The pandemic of 2020 has shown us that. Also, it showed us there's a huge difference in the way that we are living life in America, monetarily and thinking-wise. Although we like to look good, it's not about how good your body, skin, or hair looks. It's not about what you do for a living. It's about the light in your soul, in your eyes, in your life. The love that you have from others or yourself. We learn that some people are really living life, and most people are merely surviving. Their surviving is tired and ready to thrive. To get your groove back, you need to access the tree of life. To get that, you must go within. People who have been meditating for years do have some slight advantage, but this is a different type of meditating. So no matter how experienced or unexperienced you are, we all have access now. It's never too late to begin to let the source that is in you lead you while you lead it. There's a bit of a twist to this. You are the one who's created the path, and you are the one who will walk the path, and you are the one who changes the path. The self of you that is seated with source is calling you on the path. So self-love, ego, is necessary because it's what's deciding or expressing preferences for the path. It is your preferences, likes, and desires. The love of self is the connection that we're going to work on strengthening so that you can hear or feel the impulses you want to follow. This is free will. You are not being controlled. You are in control by the way you feel. No one has to feel good. No one has to do this work. We're allowed to choose life or... I want to inform you that the second that this becomes a ritual or a practice, something that you motivate yourself to do, stop. That's motivation, and it will split the energy, and you're going to go right back to where you were. I'm informing you of how it feels to get into alignment with your connection to source. By the way, getting into alignment will not be these exacting rules or steps that you follow every time. You will not get there the exact same way every time. It will be the exact same range of feelings every time. Contentment to ecstasy. You will not remain in this range of emotions all day, every day, but you will have access to these emotions all day, every day. Meditation is described as a period where one stops their thoughts. And now we are adding and tune in. Tune in to what? How do you stop your thoughts? There are different types of meditation that one can do: guided, programming, deprogramming, affirmations. We are meditating for tuning. I read once that banks study real money to spot the fakes rather than study examples of fake money. This way of meditating is for studying your vibration. I have participated in guided meditations where the facilitator is speaking kind words that are to help you relax and go with the flow. I've also been the facilitator of such meditations. There are programming and deprogramming meditations where you are being told that listening to this sound will automatically have you doing something like thinking differently. Those are not the type of meditations we will be doing, although I do suggest that you do those types of meditations for fun, not for manifesting. The type of meditation we will be doing is to exercise your tuner. In my last book, I mentioned our brain is a conductor, a tuner of sorts. What we want to do with these particular meditations is learn how to tune. We need to learn the feelings we get when we do tune in, capture and remember that feeling. The unconditional love that I mentioned in an earlier chapter, this is what I'm talking about. We want to feel unconditional love. When we feel that sensation anytime throughout the day, we know that what we're doing is in alignment with our higher self that is still connected to source energy. At this point, we can then begin to have understanding of the language that we developed but hardly paid attention to. The way I and so many others have described it to people who are not familiar with meditation or think that they can't do it is like this. We're looking for a feeling. Think of when you first wake up after good sleep and it's the weekend and you have no early morning plans but to relax. There's a split second when you are just awakening and there's a feeling, a good feeling, a sensation that's inside your body, your chest area, warmth, tingles, and happiness. Sometimes we then begin to stretch and wake all the way up or just wake up. But it's a comforting feeling that's only there for a short period of time and then you wake up or lay in bed. This feeling is contentment, satisfaction, home, calm. We want to conjure this feeling during the waking day just because. If you tend to always wake up with alarms or kids running around, I recall those days, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. So for you all, another description you may be familiar with is, that good feeling when you get in your chest, the heart area, when you've done something that you're proud of, or that feeling you get in your chest or body when you're having a really good time. I like to call it jizz. You feel it in the middle of your chest area between your ribs, the solar plexus area. When I'm happy in whatever moment I'm living, it's a feeling I get in my heart. It's confirmation, or I call it the extra juiciness of being. Feeling happiness. That's what we're going for. The feeling of unconditional happiness. It's known as the tree of life. Let's go there. Read this first, then get comfortable because you cannot do both at the same time. When you get a moment alone, if it's first thing in the AM or late at night if you have to, spend some time alone listening. Not stopping thoughts, not trying to feel good, just listening. So you will need a small fan or AC or the ringing in your ears or running water. Make sure it's very light. Anything with a light white noise sound. There are many megahertz sounds that you can listen to for free on YouTube. What you will do is listen to the sound and allow yourself to drift into bliss. Just so you know, you will hear it and start to get into it and be listening and then lose focus and thoughts may come into your mind. This is natural, like channel surfing. It's all good. Just remind yourself of what you're doing. You're listening. Refocus and then feel for the relaxation of your muscles. Guess what? Your mind will begin to wander again. It's normal. Bring it back. It'll wander some more. Do not be upset. Just bring it back to listening. After a little bit of listening, you will begin to feel something. It may feel like a relaxed body, or maybe you'll feel sensations of floating or swirling energy inside your body. Your tongue should fall from the roof of your mouth. Your shoulders relax and your breathing is steady. You can feel something is there. Okay, I won't bullshit you. The first time I had these sensations, which were new, I was living in Kansas and I wanted to go to the next level. I kept feeling like I wanted to meditate, right? Back then, I used to like to listen to music with no words and allow myself to float along with a beat. in this particular session, it started out the same, just quiet peace. And then I would normally see myself like flying over mountains and green grass. But then I started to feel this detachment and I felt an energy. I kept opening my eyes because I kept having this feeling, this sensation, not flying, but presence. I could have swore someone was with me. After opening my eyes several times during the session, I then realized I was tapping into something. This was not the tingles that I had felt as a kid in the back of my head. This was different, but I had some beliefs from the church that led me to think that this was a bad thing, and I was contacting evil. Although it felt good and like nothing I ever felt, I assumed it had to be bad since I expected tingles in the back of my head normally. So I stopped meditating after that. This is what, after 5 years of not meditating, I realized we are way more in control of what we let into our energy or thoughts than previously thought. Fear of love keeps love at bay, but it never goes away. Nothing is out to get me like it seems in the movies. I thought back then maybe I'm about to be possessed, but that feeling of presence never came back until I allowed it in. I literally said a few times out loud, okay, I am not scared. I know that I'm not in danger. I know you love me and are here to help me get the best out of life for me. The sensations came back very little at a time because that's what I wanted. I didn't want to see anything that would freak me out. I didn't want to hear anything that would freak me out. I am in total awe that Source completely listened. The point of the side note I want you to know is that you're not in danger of contacting evil when doing this work. I too many times thought I might be doing something against God. In reality, if there is a God in the sense that we've been taught, was not the point of Jesus so that we could do more works than he? Shouldn't I be showing myself true with works? What you do need to be aware of is that once you start working with this wisdom or energy, you can't go back to being like everyone else. Technically, you could, but you would still have the advantage of knowing about mental energy and its workings. Also, you won't be able to blame outside anymore. You now know why some circumstances are happening. You got lazy in your thinking. Stinking thinking, they call it. The good thing is, when shit starts happening, you now know how to fizzle it out. Back to meditating and what we're looking for. After you first get the sensation in your body, try not to get all excited about it while in the middle of it. Sometimes that'll make the feeling go away. It's like you were not really expecting to find the sensation. There may be times when you have too many things on your mind that keep trying to take away your focus. How that plays out is, you'll feel it for a second and then negative thoughts will come rushing right in. That is when I know I have had more crap in my vibes than I'm aware of or willing to admit. Side note, this is what I mean when I say when the unwanted circumstances show up, I let go and focus better. Better said, I step up my faith. When we are actually tapping into the tree of life, you, will have thoughts that will float into your mind, good thoughts. When the meditation session is finished, I do whatever I feel led to do. Accessing or conjuring this feeling is the work we do. Not the lists, not meditation. It's a tool we use. Not affirmations, not visualization. Certainly not trying to figure out the frequency of a thing that you want and trying to mimic the frequency. This inner detachment, this inner jizz, and all of the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle that I mentioned before. The second-to-second moments in life. How you deal. The reaching for true thoughts of your source connection when you're not in alignment. Or being easy on yourself that you're not in alignment but intend on getting there with ease. Having some fun. Daydreaming. All of these practices become a way of life rather than something that you do to try to make something happen. Making it happen is not manifestation. A dope aspect I picked up on is, although you're not making lists to make things happen, you make lists when you really start tuning in, and it doesn't take that long and you will start seeing the things that you even long ago asked for. They start showing up, and I mean, it could be things from your childhood you didn't let in before, and it will show up and give you surprise and delight. I want to make this clear. I am not saying that you will not take action to get to your manifestations. That's one of the biggest misunderstandings I get when explaining this to people. People think that I'm saying to them, no, do not take action. Just sit in a corner and meditate. Think positive. Everything you ever want will come to you. That is what I'm saying, but I have to add that as you meditate or tap in, meditating is not the only way to tap in. You will get urges or impulses to do stuff. Action It could be eating a turkey sandwich, get up and go get a drink from the corner store, maybe sit down and write, draw, have sex, eat candy. Who knows what the urge will be? You'll feel like doing something. Follow that impulse, even if it makes no friggin' sense. Following that urge or impulse is going to help you determine, are you tapping in or not? The first few meditations for everyone is just thinking. After some time, and only you will really know, by the feeling in your solar plexus when your sessions have changed from listening for a sound into tuning. Tuning. What I mean by that is we are setting our frequency to pick up the words, thoughts, and feelings of our source about us. You will hear thoughts happen again, but now they should be pleasant, encouraging, loving, specifically tailored for you. The action part? It's not the thoughts that you want to follow or take action on. It's the urge to do. Whatever it is that you get the urge to do after you meditate for real, follow that urge and see what's there for you, no matter how off topic to your day that urge is. However, if you have an urge to harm anyone in any way, you are not connecting to source. That is you. This time period of tuning into your source connection, when done correctly, will change your energy flow, but to keep it real, you can and sometimes will pick up the frequency you were attempting to leave behind. When that happens, it's all good. Just relax, breathe, remind yourself there's no rush to feel good, and then get up and go distract yourself with the speaking in tongues language that you developed. For instance, for me, I like to watch comedies when I need a distraction or a relief from my current vibration. After your successful meditation, then go follow your impulses. Now, don't go looking like, ooh, I'm looking for the surprise and the joyfulness the universe has for me today. The way it works is you will have another urge and maybe a few more or just one. And when you follow it, you'll be met with something that's just for you. You could be standing with others and whatever shows up, they might like it too, but it'll be much more special to you than anyone you're with. Do not explain to others yet. Them not getting it or getting excited like you will take you out of the zone. You trying to explain how you were meditating and then got the urge or the impulse to go to 7-Eleven. You felt like getting a Slurpee. When you went to pay for it, perhaps the guy at the counter said, "Hey, you're our 100th customer of the day and you get a free Slurpee." They will chalk it up to coincidence. If you chalk it up to coincidence, you'll weaken the momentum. Side dope as fuck synchronicity. 1 month after writing this example, I had a rougher day than usual. Why is it for a few weeks after writing these books I deal with so much? I think it's for context and content and proof. I must use the wisdom that I have. I stand by my findings. Back to the story. After dealing with the BS and reminding myself the whole time that it's always working out for me, my friends took me to a 7-Eleven to get a drink and some chips. As we got to the counter, the checkout guy was in a good mood and we were joking with him about when would the next shipment of baking soda arrive at this location. Who gets baking soda from 7-Eleven? He then gives us each a free Slurpee coupon, which does not expire until the end of the year. Dope! The more you notice these small creations or manifestations, the more they come to you. The more they come, the more confident you get in your ability to tune in and hear. You will also know that things may or may not play out exactly like you scripted it. But if you learn this way of being, then as with the example above, it did not happen as I wrote in the book, but the same outcome happened. This grows your confidence about tuning in and following impulses. This also grows your self-love and love of self, which leads you into feeling more love for yourself and others. Why? Because this love or energy is all around us, is coming from an unseen source. So you know that there's an unseen connection. Therefore, it must be an unseen connection with us humans too. The more love you feel, the more coincidence and synchronicities you experience, and it becomes a way of living. Not a one-trick pony gimmick of trying to make something happen. Manifesting beauty is like a dance. You learn the steps, and each time you do the dance, you get more comfortable with what you're doing. After a while, one day you notice You're not thinking about the steps anymore. You know the dance. Once that happens, you are free to make the dance your own, adding your sass and your hair toss. You still use the same steps, but now you can add your own flavor. And once you do that, it becomes your dance. Once you know how to do this one dance, it gives you the confidence to do more dances, take more risks, allowing your body to move to more complex rhythms. And after years of dancing, your body almost knows the music before it plays. You can hear a song for the first time and dance to it like you know it because it's coming from within when you have reintroduced your self-love to love of self. Once that happens, baby, you're going to dance some spectacular dances. I do not mean actual dancing, although for some of you, that's exactly what I mean. I mean, you will move with the energies of this field of potentiality like you are dancing. Things will come together for you like you planned it. Your life will take on a song of your own. It'll be your musical life.
This is Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?